Work. Okay, well now it posted that I was streaming, and now it says I'm streaming twice, except one of them has the wrong header. Why is it always broken? Welcome to the Broken Chatbox. I is streaming.
I is still streaming.
I'm streaming. What do you?
We is streaming.
I can close my thing. We're just gonna be playing League again today, cause screw it. What about your profile?
Look at the profile.
I'm on your profile. You're level 98. Freaking no life.
No, not that part.
You're in silver still somehow?
No, my the background
Wukong
picture.
is your highest mastery?
You don't see my background picture?
Oh, you mean Annie?
Yeah.
What
The
about
Hex
it?
Tech Annie.
I knew you had it.
Well,
I already called you a dick 17 times for it.
I know, but like, I think it's cool. You could set a background picture now.
Oh, you can set a background picture now?
Yeah, from skins that you own.
Ooh.
It's in the so go to your own profile page.
I saw it. I saw it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, you can select
Done.
your.
Done.
I just did that one because
We're done.
I know you like Hex Tech Annie, and
I know.
yeah.
I'll have it one of these days. It will be
One of
mine.
these days.
Anyways, we're gonna be playing League. We're not just gonna be playing League though. We actually have games to talk about this week, or I do, at least.
Oh, yeah,
And news happened. Oh my god.
No.
Evan, introduce yourself.
Evan the Tank here. Hello. Check my stream out. I'll be playing Fortnite, sometimes League.
Spuck is MIA. He might have gotten hit by a truck. I'm not sure yet.
Or bus.
Bus. Could have been a truck.
You should accept the other thing.
Oh my god, I hear you echoing.
I know. I'm sorry.
I have to leave the in-game voice chat.
I
Wait, what?
I fixed it.
What should I do?
You have an invite.
What?
You have an invite next to your name.
Oh my god, clubs? Oh my god. Okay, so you just started a new club. That's fine.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's what made it that they can tag too. Go to your clothes and change your tag tag.
That is not how I'd want it.
No. There wasn't even really much I could choose from. Because apparently every...
I would have done
other
TBCC
Oh, yeah.
with the Broken Chatbox Club. I mean, it makes sense, right?
I get it.
Anyways, I guess we should start talking about stuff because we are streaming and that's the whole point of this whole ordeal. So, anybody...
Right, that's because that's something important. Let's do it.
Yeah. Anybody, and I say anybody as in just you. I'm used to having more than one person. Anything interesting going on?
Evan, right here.
Anything
Evan,
going on with your video gaming life at the moment? Got any gaming news, topics, information?
Gaming news.
The song is extremely loud for some reason.
Stop listening to music.
Now. The music is always a
So,
thing.
Fortnite released a coming soon for a shopping cart.
Sounds interesting. We're talking a little bit about it before the show. It's a shopping cart that supposedly you're gonna ride, maybe?
Yeah. So it's all they have is on their news little page, like a little short description, and it says, "Ride into battle alone or with a buddy." I personally think it's going to be one of those little jackass moments, which is going to be,
Which sounds fun,
hysterical.
to be 100% honest.
It sounds like it's going to be hilarious because you're going to see two people riding down a goddamn shopping cart down a mountain.
Which will be
It's
interesting.
going to happen, and it's going to be hysterical.
Do we have any footage of it yet, or is it just they
No,
announced
it's just a news little segment, and it's
I'm
not
excited
even
if it's gonna be like motor powered and become like the Mongoose was for like Halo 3. Because
oh my
that was always
I
hilarious.
hope
Riding
not.
around
Like,
on
it's
some
gonna
shoot.
be funny as shit. It's gonna be so funny. It's gonna hurt.
That actually sounds interesting. They're adding so many cool things to Fortnite. I don't play it, but
Love it.
I don't know. I might play it eventually. I'm gonna go Kleptomancy because I'm too lazy to set up runes. Actually, I'll just go a preset rune. What's a good rune set for her?
Just go domination
Domination.
or
Okay.
resolve, whatever way you're gonna build. Are you building damage or tank?
I'll go tank. I don't know how to play Sedge. I don't play her very often.
I mean, you could either just go damage with the Triforce, or you can go like honestly in League of Legends, the strongest fucking combo if you're going healthy is Triforce Sterix, because Sterix boosts your base AD, and Triforce's Sheen goes off of your base AD. So it's a nice little big combo.
Sorry, I'm chatting with people in game.
Oh Jesus!
Damn, yes, it'd be so fun. Your mom was fun last night.
Oh, and this morning.
All right. Anyways,
damn, hitting that shit twice.
So yeah, I guess that's what's going on with Fortnite.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
You didn't play anything else.
I've been just playing a lot of Fortnite lately. That's all.
So boring. Well, I played 3 whole games.
I've been in love with it. I mean,
for
I did
the
think
last
about
like month and a half.
I mean, hey, if it's still going, I'm still going.
But I played 3 whole games this month or this week. This week.
One of those games I considered getting.
Yeah, well, you already have it. But
I already own it.
Yeah. So Dark Souls Remastered came out. I have mixed feelings because my video on it was positive while also being super negative and basically saying it's not worth it and it's kind of a crappy port. So the original Dark Souls, for people that don't know, was abysmal. Like, it is one of the worst ports that a professional studio's ever done to PC. It is stuck at 720, it has stuttering everywhere, the engine breaks itself all the time, anti-aliasing doesn't work on modern graphics cards, and somebody was mentioning in the comments, like, the original has MSAA. Yeah, I tried to launch it with MSAA and it fucking crashed, even without DS Fix. But there was a mod for the original game that actually went through and fixed a bunch of this stuff and made it so it had uncapped frame rate and stuff.
I love that mod. Couldn't play it without it.
So DS Fix was pretty good. However, last month I was already playing Dark Souls, and so when they announced this, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot again. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and wait and then try it when the remastered comes out, because of course I'm going to get it. I'm a fucking tool. So I end up getting it, and I realized that it is incredibly smooth in comparison. It runs at a solid 60 FPS. There are problems with it. It has like bugs here and there, but they have drastically improved the lighting in the game, which basically makes the game look really impressive. It still looks like a game from, 2003-ish or 2007, whenever it came out. It still looks like an old PS3 game, but like they actually made it look pretty dang good with the lighting.
Really?
Most of the textures are still pretty bad though. So, for example, the contrast, you know how Dark Souls kind of had this weird kind of fog everywhere and it was kind of blurry all the time? Which was mostly because it was stuck at 720, to be honest. But it was also that way because they intentionally made a bunch of blur. And so everything kind of looked like it was within the same contrast in a way. In the new one, in the remastered, what they went through is they redid all the lighting, and so all the lighting basically has a really great contrast. So inside the light, it's really, really bright in comparison to how it was before. It kind of ruins Anor Londo, but I'll talk about that in a second. But when you actually get into like the fire and stuff like that, like at the starting area, where you're walking down the tunnel and there's those the little tiny torches up on the wall.
Yeah,
looks incredible in comparison to the old ones. So they're actually like, it just lights up really, really bright orange, but then the dark areas are really dark and like really saturated. And so like the entire game just got a nice saturation boost and it has a lot of contrast to it now. And so dark areas look dark and light areas look really light, which helps a lot. They also did a lot of stuff with the effects. There's a lot more glow effects, fire effects. Whenever you like something pounds on the ground, little tiny sparks fly up all the time. And so, in general, it looks better. And a lot of the bosses got retextured and stuff like that.
Well, that's nice. Does the one spider lady look even grosser?
Supposedly, yes. I haven't actually fought her yet because I've only played for a few hours. My controller's actually broken, and I got too pissed off at it because basically my left bumper is dying on my controller. And so I need to get a new controller before I can play Dark Souls because you need accuracy to play that game. So I'm basically waiting until I get a new controller, or I'm just going to start using my old controller, which has a floating stick, which is.
I'm glad I got a new controller.
Xbox
controller.
Nice.
I really love it. It was so worth the money. I delayed to get it.
I just bought mine like I feel like it wasn't too long ago, but like it's actually been quite a while. So like, yes, I got it. So like it's actually been past its warranty. Those things only have like a 6-month warranty, and I bought for that.
I know you did.
They're a little bit cheaper now, though. I paid $60 originally for it, and now they're 46-ish. So, like, that's not.
Yes.
So they're a little bit cheaper now. But still. But yeah, so everything else, though, everything that I've gotten up to so far has looked better. Some people have complained that some of the effects look less magical because they had a lot of those line effects that they had. Like the fire, for example, used to be like this, basically just a bunch of red lines that went upwards. And they actually made it real fire now, which I think looks better. But some people have said like, oh, it looks less magical now, which that's just personal preference stuff. It's just personal preference stuff that it really doesn't have any objective stuff to it. The problem with the port, however, is it doesn't look good enough to justify the buying price, because even if you had the original Dark Souls, they're still charging you money for it.
That's what I'm saying. $20, and I've owned the original. I don't think it's worth $20.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. It is worth it if you plan to play through it again, because the thing I love about this remaster isn't necessarily the fact that it looks better. That's fine. That's whatever. I like that it supports my natural resolution. It goes all the way up to 4K. People have actually gotten DSR to work up to 8K. And so you can run this game to look at whatever resolution you want. And so it's going to look better no matter what. The thing is, though, the thing that's actually really good about this port is they've adjusted the AI and the way the game runs. And so, you know, like when you got to Blight Town, it would always drop in frame rate and slow down.
Yeah,
that's fixed. Yeah. Stuff like that doesn't happen. There are some edge cases to where they're a little bit bugged out. They're still patching the game. And so it's still got a few bugs here and there. So for me, for example, I have to play with VSync on, or else the game gets random stuttering every once in a while and it slows down the game.
See, and that's honestly, that kind of makes me less want it, to be honest, because the game's been out for 10 years.
Yeah, and they still have a bunch of problems that they haven't fixed.
And now they're already having a bunch of problems, and it's a remastered edition.
Well, it was made for the Nintendo Switch. That's the thing. It wasn't built for PC. They just decided to bring it to PC. And so I don't necessarily think that's a fair argument as much. Like, I do agree that they should have fixed these problems. But, like, these aren't problems that were in the original Dark Souls either. And it seems to be different depending on the system. Like, it's just some testing stuff that they just kind of screwed up. And they have been patching it out. That's just going to happen no matter what, because you can't test...
I left town with 5 HP.
Nice.
Just going to let you know.
You can't test every single hardware configuration. It's just literally impossible. That's just not how those things work. And so, yeah, it's just not going to happen. So bugs like that happen on literally everything. But again, the actual AI and stuff like that, since the game natively runs at 60 FPS, for one, everything feels much more responsive. The attacks are much more responsive, blocking. A lot of the kind of frame perfect things that you had to do are much easier to do now, because when you were using DS Fix, it was a little bit glitchy, and sometimes it just, wouldn't have the proper frames, because sometimes it would be 3 before or 3 after or whatever, because it was trying to calculate based on 30 FPS rather than your normal frame rate. They've actually made it so that the frames are much easier to hit now. And so, doing things like blocking and stuff like that is much more consistent. The AI is extremely responsive in comparison. They've actually increased the range to where enemies can follow you. I don't know if you remember, but there is a certain tower to where there is a giant guy with a shield and a giant, it's not really
Oh my god, I hated that guy.
Okay, so his name's Havoc.
I died to him so many times.
So basically, he can follow you all the way back to the freaking fireplace, all the way back in Undead Burg. So they made it so the enemies can follow you forever now, which is freaking incredible.
Well, that's pretty awesome and terrifying.
Yes, it is awesome, but also terrifying, and it makes it, much more dangerous to run away from fights, which is actually something I think is good. And they've also kind of done a lot of quality of life improvements. You can use multiple souls at once, or when you're in your hotbar, you can actually just hold it down to toggle through them instead of having to click through. They've made it so that you can change covenants while at a bonfire now. They've done a bunch of minor things that just make the game less frustrating, and just, quality of life things. Makes it easier to play. It still doesn't make it worth the buying price. If you're not planning to play through it, just to own it, it's not worth it. But if you're looking to play through it again, it's actually a lot better than a lot of people were saying. And I think it's actually a pretty decent job at it. It's not great. It's definitely not as good as I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a proper PC port and actually run without problems. Unfortunately, it has problems, which is a little bit annoying. My only problem is the fact I
should wait a little bit before I actually want to pick this game up.
Yes. I don't know if the sale thing is going to last forever, though. I'm not 100% sure on that, and I couldn't find concrete details. Some people were saying it's limited time. Other people are saying it's forever. There's no timer on the Steam page, so I assume it's forever, but I don't know. It's $40 for new people trying to buy it that don't own Dark Souls. It's only $20 for people that have Dark Souls. $40, again, Dark Souls is an incredible game. It's one of the best games ever made, in my opinion. but it's also probably not worth $40 when it's so old, and they've removed the old version from Steam. So if you've never had Dark Souls, you don't have an option if you want to play Dark Souls. So I would suggest for anybody looking to buy it, either wait for some patches so that they iron out some of these, easy to fix problems. Oh, there's also online multiplayer problems too. But basically wait for a few patches, wait for the cheaters to kind of get bored and get off the game, because yes, they've had cheaters both on the console and the PC. So if you're looking at console and be like, oh, I'm going to go play it on PS4. Yeah, good luck with that. They're having the same exact problem. Same thing with Switch as well, because this Switch has been jailbroken now. So, it's just cheaters galore. PC has it the worst just because PC's easiest, but it's everywhere. So wait for a few patches, wait for a sale, and then pick it up. It's a fantastic game. It's just not a proper PC port yet. It's way better. It's 1,000 times better than the original port. But again, the original port was one of the worst ever made. So
now the
it's
time
better than nothing.
You play with the keyboard, or did you play with the controller?
I played with both actually. So both actually work pretty well. I'm used to playing Dark Souls with the gamepad, and so that's how I mostly played it. But I actually use the mouse and keyboard, and it works. And you can actually rebind everything now. And so you don't have to use DS-Fix to rebind things. And so, for example, if I want to go through and relearn Dark Souls, which I'm just too busy right now to do so, I can just rebind my left bumper that's breaking into something else. So I can make it my left trigger. One thing that I thought about doing is just make it left trigger, and then make the parry button my X button, can make items my left stick click in. No problem. I can do that. I can rebind absolutely everything, which is nice, except for the movement, which is annoying, and I don't know why. You can't rebind how you move your character on the controller, which is, I don't know why that's a common thing in video games, but I assume it has to do with engines, as I'm working in Unreal Engine 4. You either have to make your own custom code or use their own built-in code for movement, which would be including the stick. So I think that's probably why, but yeah, Dark Souls is still great. It still holds up. It is aging quite a bit nowadays, like visually, but aside from that, I think the mechanics actually hold up pretty well.
Well, that sounds really good. That makes me make me feel a little bit better about wanting to buy it or not.
Yeah, I would honestly wait for it to either go on sale or maybe wait until you're like, I'm gonna play through it again, that sort of thing. Like, make sure you really want to play through it again.
I do want to play through it again, but I think I might wait a little bit on it for the bugs to be completely done with.
Yeah, and I really do hope they patch it, because they said they are. So if they don't, that's going to suck. They have done 2 or 3 patches, I think. And so they fixed a bunch of crashing issues the last patch, which was when I ended up doing my video. And so some people are still having problems with that, but it seems to be, it's Steam users, and Dark Souls is a popular game. And so basically one thing that I found is that I stopped this run. I didn't know you could do that. Yes.
Interactions in the game.
I just ran into him. But yeah, so I think it's mostly just people with terrible PCs trying to do this, because I see it with literally every single game. Even games that I've had absolutely no problem with, I've seen people complaining about it. So I've kind of stopped using Steam as a platform to look at oh, these are some of the problems people are having. I've had to look elsewhere, because Steam is just such a cesspool when it comes down to their forums and the type of people that are on there. And a lot of people are just on there trolling right now for Dark Souls. So yeah, it's kind of annoying.
That's understandable.
But yeah, that's my experience. I spent 6 hours playing Dark Souls again, which I never thought I'd do, but I did.
I mean, I know the countless hours I spent on that too.
I got lost. I legitimately got lost. I've been playing this game for years, and I got lost. I got lost at the Capra Demon whenever you go down into the little area to where it's got the burning houses and stuff. I don't remember what the other guy's name. I think his name is Griggs or something like that. Where you save the sorceress, the Capra Demon, I think is what it's called. I couldn't find him. I got so lost, and I wandered around. I killed the freaking gargoyles and rang a bell and started heading to Blighttown and doing Blighttown stuff before then, because I'm like, I don't remember where it's at. So, yeah, that was a little bit annoying. But yeah, Dark Souls.
Understandable.
It's still Dark Souls. It is so good. I still haven't played through Dark Souls 2 and 3, though. People say 2 isn't that great. 2 is okay. But Dark Souls 1, a lot of people that played all those still say Dark Souls 1 is where it's at.
Where it's at, yeah. I played the second one a little bit. I kind of just got displeased with it because I didn't like the gameplay, or the game style of it. And the third one I actually enjoyed. The third one was more of along those kind of roots.
Yeah, well, the thing about the second one is it wasn't made by the original team. It was made by another smaller team. Right. And so a lot of people were like, yeah, it's just because it wasn't, the Dark Souls people that we knew and loved. It was just some random guys.
Somebody else. Got it.
Yeah, and then
that would make a lot
was
of
them
sense.
coming back, and they also made Bloodborne, which was supposedly fantastic, and I'll never play it because it's on PlayStation.
Yeah,
So-
that was one of those games I wish came to PC.
Another game that is coming to PC, though, that I did try, Bloodstained. So,
Yummy.
Bloodstained is basically a Castlevania spiritual successor. It's made by, I can't remember his exact name, so I'm not even going to try, but the guy who made Symphony of the Night and basically all the DS games. And Order of Ecclesia, which is on the DS, is my favorite Castlevania. And so I'm really freaking excited for this game. They released a prologue game, which was part of their Kickstarter fund things. And so if you back their Kickstarter, you ended up getting a code for it. They're a little bit slow on the console codes, so if you're waiting for your code on console, then apologies. But like for the most part, it's a nice little callback to the original Castlevanias. So it's in the original kind of pixel art style that the NES would have been in. And it's difficult as hell. So it's, I don't know, have you ever played the original Castlevania?
I did not, but I have heard you tell me multiple stories about it.
So, yeah, the original Castlevania, we're talking about Dark Souls. I played 2 games that require 100% precision, and that is what the original Castlevania was. One of the reasons why people love Dark Souls so much is the reason why people love the original Castlevanias, is that they weren't these action MMO things. They weren't Metrovania games, but rather they were these games to where they had set levels, they had set designs, and every enemy was strategically placed so that you had to play a specific way. You needed 100% precision so that you could actually, you know, get through the level and not die. And they were incredibly difficult. This is that. This is what that was in that style. And admittingly, the first playthrough is really, really easy in comparison to the original Castlevania. And you know, I'm actually at the very end. I haven't beaten it yet because I've only spent 80 minutes on it. But I'm actually at the last boss. I just ran out of time to play it last night. But like... It's really fucking good because apparently after you finish it, there's a bunch of like extra content that you can go through. There's extra difficulty levels, and supposedly the second difficulty level you unlock is the like Castlevania, you remember it kicking your ass every 3 seconds kind of mode. So I'm excited for
That's
that.
always good.
But what's really interesting about it is it's a great callback because it's not only because you know we see a bunch of these retro style games come out all the time. But it's not only a great callback because, you know, it's a, you know, Castlevania style and has the art style and stuff, but in design, like it is that exact style of design to where it's like, this is exactly what we remember from this era of gaming. And it is 100% a nostalgia trip. And so when playing through it, I'm just sitting there in awe from the very beginning. And it's designed incredibly well as well. There's some design hiccups here and there, but it's also got some extra additional stuff that is new to the game. So for example, they have character switching. So you can actually have, yes, Minions got them. You can have multiple characters. And so when you end up defeating the first boss, this chick shows up and she's kind of like this demon summoner. And you're like, all right, cool. So you can either recruit her, ignore her, or kill her. And it changes the rest of the game depending on what you pick. And it's not like a menu choice. It's just you do it in action. You can like, you know, just walk up and stab her with your sword, or you can just walk past her, or you can go up to her, talk to her, and accept her to your group. And so it's really, really interesting because there's multiple pathways inside the game that can only be taken by certain characters.
Yeah.
And so
That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and I really, really like it. I think it's really cool. The
I love
problem
when
is it's
games implement
$10.
things like that.
It's $10 and it's only an hour and a half long.
Mm.
Which is stretching it. If you're nostalgic for this, it's 100% worth it because, my God, it is perfect. If you played the original Castlevania, you will fall in love with this within seconds. If you liked it, of course. If you didn't like it, then you'll hate this. But for everyone else, it's expensive. $10 was worth it for me because it has a bunch of replay value. So if this is your style of game, then you can go back in and play it over and over again. I'm excited for Bloodstained, so I'm probably going to chill out for it. It better not be a Mighty Number 9 situation to where the game just ends up being terrible. But we'll see. I am in a position I shouldn't be in. Ouch. But yeah, that's a great game. And so if Bloodstained is even half as good as this, except longer, of course, I will be 100% satisfied. It is... They're basically what they're doing is they are with this game, like it's just not their priority. It's just a side thing they're doing. So it's really short. It's got small stuff. Nice, by the way. Nice
That's
Penta.
my second one.
I know. But like it's showing their design chops. Like these guys, they know how to make great art and they know how to make a great game. and it's showing them that like, hey, we can do this. You know, it's showing everyone like, hey, they can do this, even when they're not focused on it, even when it's just a small side project. They're still delivering a great product. And
Battle
so,
for Freljord. Uh-oh.
what is that?
It's a side quest.
Oh,
Ash and Sejuani.
all right. Well, I
Queens.
gotta kill Ash now. I forgot those existed.
Do you need an assist?
Yes.
Because if you need an assist, I doubt you're gonna get it.
We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I will be focusing on it now, though. I want to jump in and try for it, but I'll just die. But yeah, so that was good. That was fantastic, and I really enjoyed it. I'm still playing through it, though. I've been really busy, so I haven't really gotten the chance to really keep playing it or anything. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Well, I killed one. Oh, no.
Right here.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, he's flying so far away from me.
Sad face. I almost got her. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about that. I'm going to be doing a video on it this week. But it's fantastic. I love it. But it's also not worth $10.
Good.
Which seems to be a common theme this week, to where it's just like everything doesn't seem worth it. It's really unfortunate. There's a few things that are coming out that are overpriced.
Ah, yes.
Another game that I played, since you got nothing else. I don't know, do you have anything else you want to talk about game-wise? I'll just...
Honestly, I don't really have anything that comes to mind at the moment because, I don't know, all the stuff that I know about. Yeah, I just play Fortnite.
Ah, you're so boring sometimes.
I know.
You'll be able to talk during the news, I guess. But I did play one other game. It's a small mobile game. Thought I might as well talk about it for a second because it was just a thing. I'm going to lose this quest. I'm so sad. No! But yeah, it was a small... I don't know if anybody knows Gameloft, but they make the thing is now stuck on my screen, the quest.
The Battle for Freljord. Ash is the queen.
There we go. But yeah, so it's called Dungeon... What is it? Dungeon Hunter Champions? Yeah, it's called Dungeon Hunter Champions. So it's on PC as well. But what's interesting, it's a collection RPG. Evan, I know you've played one of them. You played Monster Super League for a while until everyone quit.
Oh, yeah.
But like, it's one of those to where you just get random characters and stuff. The interesting part is the PvP element is a MOBA. So I thought that was really cool. So I started playing it. I haven't played it much. I just played like 1 or 2 matches in the MOBA mode. And that's about it. It has PvE mode, and so it's like a top-down action RPG for that mode, and you level up characters, and you like get new skills and stuff like that. It doesn't carry over to the MOBA section. The MOBA section, you just have your skills and your character, and that's it, and then it has levels within that. Good. Just like a normal MOBA. I don't know if it's pay to win yet, because I haven't played it enough, because I've only played it for like 2 hours. But like... I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to go through and like have this collection RPG that's also a MOBA, because it's not a hardcore MOBA. It's very, very simple. There's no like item builds or anything along those lines. It's just, you know, you have this and then you go through and you just, you know, fight each other, and there's minions and things like that. It's shared gold, etc. Like it's super simple MOBA. But it's fun, and I wreck kids in it, so I had fun with it. I went in as an assassin, started jungling, and just walked into lane and got double kills and started destroying people. I ended my first game with 17 kills. It was a 4-minute game. And I'm like, I'm cool with this. I'm super cool with this. So, yeah, it's... I don't know about it yet, because I haven't played it enough to see if it's pay to win or not, and that's going to be my main kind of... boil point, I guess, because that's why I quit playing Monster Super League. It got too pay to win and just constantly demanded that you not only play it nonstop, but you also pay nonstop, which that's too expensive for me. That's not something I'm willing to do. I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on those styles of games. It's just not something I can do. And it wouldn't be fun for me either. I don't like having to spend a bunch of money. I don't like paying and then getting a character. Like paying for getting a new character isn't... I like to earn it or something along those lines.
By in-game currency, by points you would win with. Yeah, I understand that.
That sort of thing. And so that's what I like in those styles of games. And this seems like it has that. Like you were able to earn a bunch of them, and you're able to run through and like get a bunch of... I hate that my skill was on cooldown. You're able to like go through and get a bunch of currency through the PvE mode and stuff like that. But it has an energy system for that. Which again, yeah. So I haven't played it enough to see that, but it's interesting. It's an interesting idea, and I don't know if it's been done before or not, but it's cool. It's also on PC as well. So if people want to play on PC, it's available. However, do keep in mind that it is locked to the platform that you choose. And so if you choose Windows, you'll be stuck playing with people on Windows devices, which is a thing that GameLoft started a while ago because of Apple, believe it or not, was like, hey, by the way, we need all this money from all the microtransactions that you're doing because they take a huge cut out of that. Or at least they used to. I don't know if they still do. And the game's also like, fine, we'll just kind of exclude you. And then, so yeah, that kind of screwed everyone over on that. But yeah. Overall, it's fun from what I played. It's a little bit janky because it's meant for mobile, but it's fun. I don't know what to build.
Get this guy before he hits the tower.
But...
Never mind. He's going straight for the base.
I killed him. I was trying to buy something.
That's fine. Continue.
Yeah, that's all I had to say about it, really. I mean, that's pretty much it. I guess we move to news.
Oh yeah, there was something you also wanted to talk about. Did you want to move to that?
Sure. We want to start off the news section with that. It's kind of depressing.
It is very depressing.
So I won't talk about it too much, but a huge inspiration of mine and a huge inspiration of a lot of people inside the game industry passed away the other day. He lost his battle with cancer. So John Bain, also known as Total Biscuit, he was a game critic, and he became a great advocate for a lot of good things within the game industry, and he became a huge influence for a lot of developers and people making videos as well, of course. But for me, like, he was actually a huge inspiration for a lot of the stuff that I was working on, and so that was, you know, kind of sad to see him go. And obviously I followed all of the stuff that he ended up doing, and he was generally a good guy, and he ended up passing away to cancer. And so, yeah, so I guess that's really all I had to say about it. It just super sucks because he was a huge inspiration and stuff like that. So I hope that people are able to kind of keep him in your hearts and just
yeah. And
make
there's
sure
a lot
to
of
get checked for
bad
cancer
banter
as
about
well.
him. Stop as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of terrible rumors and things like that that just aren't true. Obviously, give it to the Wukong for the pentas.
Oh god, the double pentas and the. If I don't get MVP, I quit League of Legends.
I don't know, you got an S rank though, which got me a chest. Yay!
Come on, one more, please. All right, who's the asshole? I'm sorry, I earned that.
You did not.
40 kills. 40 kills.
Doing
Look at
well
everybody
does not mean
else.
they're fun to play with.
Come on, 40 kills though.
Play again.
Dude, 67,000 damage.
Yeah, you were destroying people.
That's all of your score put together.
Because they allowed you to get that far.
They didn't allow shit. I did 12,000 damage with Dark Harvest.
Quite a bit.
Dark Harvest Wukong on ARAM is so strong.
Oh,
but
so
you can't necessarily do that in normal.
So
state.
incredibly happy news. I'm gonna bring it up on stream because I can. I always forget that you can see my screen. Yeah.
I can see your screen.
Yes, it is. It is great. It should be on my wish list, I think. Yes, this is coming to PC. Oh my god, it has partial nudity
tag as well.
Oh no. Anyways, so this game is coming to PC. It is called Shining Resonance. People who are my age might remember Shining games from Sega, which was like Shining Force back on the Genesis and such.
Wait, is this from the little video down at the bottom, it looks like a PSO game.
Yes. Get to it in a second. So the Shining series was developed alongside Phantasy Star, which I know Evan knows. It was their answer to people wanting more than just a sci-fi setting. So Phantasy Star was their sci-fi setting, and then this was their fantasy setting, was the Shining games. And so the Shining JRPGs did fairly well to begin with. It's a JRPG genre, or not genre, but series developed and published by Sega. I'm going to click Find a Match. But the problem is, back in the PS2, they stopped localizing them. And so we haven't had any of the Shining games come over to the West since the PS2 era, which was like back in 2005 or 2006, one of the two. And so this is really exciting because this is also the first game that they've been putting onto main consoles. Now, this is a re-release of that game. So Shining Resonance came out in late 2016, I think, in Japan exclusively, and it was on the PS3. So this is a remastered edition that has a bunch of extra content. It has over like 300 DLCs, which is a bunch of cosmetic crap that nobody cares about. Because all JRPGs do that these days, which is super unfortunate. But yeah, so It's finally coming to the West, though, because when they announced that they were doing a remaster, like, oh, yeah, by the way, we're also going to localize it, and it's going to be on the PS4. And so it was like, all right, I saw the original announcement. I was excited because I was like, oh, hey, Sega's getting back into our area, which is good. Back into, publishing games in English, which I want because Sega actually has a lot of great IPs under them. But I was really, really excited because one day I was looking on Steam and just noticed that it has a store page. It doesn't show it. It didn't show it on any of their official announcements until that day, and I'm like, "Oh shiz! I'm so excited." So I haven't played
when
a
is
Shining
this game
game
coming
forever. It comes out like in a month or two, like a month and a half, I think.
A month or two? Okay.
Yeah, so it's got a while. I can just go back to the store page or whatever. Yeah, July 10th. So it's got a while. But like I'm super excited for this because it's not just relevant for the fact that one, it's a JRPG and I'm a fucking nerd, but
sorry to pop in late.
Yay, Spark!
Who is this person?
But it also shows that Sega is getting back into our region, which is super, super exciting because if they start localizing all these interesting games, because they have a lot of interesting small games. Sorry, I didn't accept because I was looking at stuff. But if they start like bringing over a lot of their smaller projects and all their bigger kind of Japanese exclusive games, that would be super exciting. So I'm hoping it does well just for the fact that I want Sega to bring all of their stuff over, not just that. Because they're good. They're really well received. They're like bestsellers over in Japan. So yeah. And I really like Phantasy Star. So this is 100% up my alley.
I really like Phantasy Star too. What would you say for people who have played Phantasy Star? Would you suggest that for them?
It's more of a JRPG now. So back in the day,
but like, even if people have played Phantasy Star, would you suggest it to them? Like me, for instance.
Back in the day, I would say yes, but I don't know how the series is kept up because, like I said, it's been since the PS2 since I played one. They released a bunch of games, Japan exclusive, on like mobile devices like 3DS or the PSP and stuff like that. So. You're making me have a hard decision. I'll play the Cassiopeia. I'll play the Cassiopeia. This'll be fun.
You guys went without me, Rip.
What do you mean we went without you?
Well, somebody came in late.
Yeah, you don't get to play with us because you came in late.
Oh.
I don't even know why you're in this chat.
Spark, do you have any news to bring up? We're on news section.
No, I've been looking and scrounging, and I haven't found up anything interesting.
Oh my god, I have a ton of stuff.
There is that volcano constantly erupting in Hawaii.
Oh, that too.
That has nothing to do with video games or tech, but I'm okay with it.
I'm gonna hit accept. I'm gonna let you decide.
I'm gonna accept. I just did it instinctively. I'm so sorry, Spark. I'm so sorry. I still love you on the inside.
No.
You still have the chance, though. It's up to Michael. Also, side note, Michael,
don't ever
change your
rely on me to
fucking
do this
tag.
shit. No.
Change your fucking
We are Argia.
tag.
We are the goddess of laziness. Hold on. I'm bringing this up. There was a bunch of news this week to talk about.
Got
I just have to
profile,
remember.
clubs, gear,
No,
or you
do
click
it later.
you click the one you want, and you click the gear.
ESA is still trying to defend loot boxes, which who cares? Oh yeah, this one's fun. Okay, so Battlefield 5 was announced, and they showed the cover art. And you know how mainstream media is. It's a bunch of idiots and no-livers. So, yeah, it was a female on the cover. People lost their shit. People lost their shit.
We can't have that.
People got so people were like, oh my god, this isn't representing World War II, because it's supposed to be set in World War II, which is cool. Which, one, yes, women did fight in World War II. Go to fucking history lessons. But anyways, yeah, so had a woman on the cover. A bunch of, incels just lost their shit and got really upset about it. And I think it's awesome. She looks really, really cool. And so, yeah, and they showed off a trailer that supposedly has a woman with one arm and she heals you with a syringe after being shot.
Oh, right. There we go. That's always nice.
I mean, it's Battlefield. It doesn't have to make sense.
No. Yeah,
but yeah,
sounds good to me.
I probably won't play it, but that was a controversy that happens. That's really it. I just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, no, I understand that completely.
And it happens so often. I don't get why though. It's so weird to where like for me, we see a woman on the cover and we're like, all right, cool, that's just standard. We want more men on covers in Japanese games just because it's always women.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm the other way around. I prefer to have my women on the covers because I mean, if I'm gonna stare at something for like 12 hours
I'm talking
straight,
about like
it better
Japanese
be a female
games.
body.
When you look at Japanese games or anime covers, it's almost always a female. like 90%
of course
of the
it
time.
is. Of course it is.
Because that's what sells, right? So
Damn
when
right.
it comes down to like anime and stuff like that, I want to see a man on the cover, and I want to see them do something interesting, cool with it, because that's actually what's unique. And so the fact that Battlefield has a female on the cover, which is unpopular for modern shooters or whatever you want to call them, I think it's interesting. Although I do think it's a little bit of a trend chaser, but they say that female characters are there to stay, and that's really the end of the topic. Devs just told people to shut up, and that's pretty much it. Which I'm like, I agree with that. Oh my god, can we get into one match? I don't even think I can play one match. Oh my god, I don't even have time for one more match. I have to drop out. Sorry guys. You can play without me.
Bad, man.
Yeah. By the way, Spark, we're going to be ending the podcast a little bit early today. Not yet, but I'm going to be getting a call to go somewhere, and so I have stuff to do. So we'll be ending the podcast a little bit early whenever that shows up, basically. So it could be in an hour from now. I don't know. She's slow. But yeah, so that was that. What else was there? Killer 7's getting ported, which is good.
Nice.
Have you guys ever played it? I haven't played it.
Killer 7, you said?
I've heard it's good. I've never played it. It was back on the GameCube.
I've never heard of it until now. Let me look it up. Killer 7, right?
So there's two things I want to bring up. I'm deciding which one will be more relevant. All right, so moving past Killer 7. So recently, another indie game that was kind of a multiplayer game ended up shutting down recently, called Mirage Arcane Warfare. Also, the classic old school RuneScape is also shutting down. Loadout shut down 2 weeks ago, I think.
Wait, old school RuneScape is shutting down?
Yes,
it
talk
is.
about it in a second.
Goodness.
And also, Super Monday Night Combat, which hadn't been updated in years anyways, is also shutting down.
Oh my goodness. That game.
I loved that game when it was out. But there's a lot of these older games that were kind of shutting down now. And the reason is because of the UK law that came around, which is the GDZP or something. I can't remember what it's called. Also, this game is super, super loud. I was trying to play a game in the background. Now it's super loud. Apologies for that, guys.
Oh god. Terribleness.
But yeah, so they ended up shutting down. And the reason is because they can't update their games or can't afford to update their games with the systems that are required. My controller's not working. God damn it. That are required to actually comply with this law.
Always in disarray over there.
I am. Everything's always broken over here. It is so awful. This is why I don't live stream.
Hence the Discord name, the Broken Chatbox.
Yeah. Oh crap. I need to put this in full screen.
Actually,
but yeah, so basically the law makes it so that you have to disclose any information that you're collecting or sharing. And so basically a bunch of games, especially from indie devs or smaller projects that just don't make very much money, are being closed down for the simple fact that, that's going to fuck with my stream. Thanks streaming software. Instead of putting it in full screen, it just gave it a black box.
I mean, it's better than it not showing it at all.
Oh, but I can just have it in a window. All right. Whatever, stream. Just deal with the box.
The box.
It's just a box. I'm playing the Bloodstained game in the background. But yeah, so basically a bunch of games are shutting down because of that, and it kind of sucks. And I kind of warned about this back when they were announcing that they were enforcing this on games. And so that went into play the 25th or the 26th, I think. And so a lot of games shut down this last 2 weeks. But yeah, Spark, you played the original RuneScape. How do you feel about that? You wanted to play it this week.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that they're shutting down RuneScape Classic, the 2001 one.
Yeah, they're shutting down the classic one. Not the new one, the classic.
Yeah. And I gotta say that I wouldn't say that it's very active anyways, so it's kind of...
It's not that big of a deal. There are private servers, so if you want to play them, they exist. But it's just gone forever, which I think is kind of sucky. Oh, I forgot to turn off one of my overlay things. Oh my god. Everything is fucked. I break everything.
Everything's broken.
Where is it? There it is.
Michael.
I need to remove my music display because I'm not playing music anymore. You know what? Screw it. I'm putting this thing in window. Oh my god, now my Steam thing won't let me swap.
Oh, just stop it already.
My life is so complicated.
Is broken.
Everything's broken all the time. All right, whatever. It's working now. I got it going. I think there is a random red dot on my screen, and
don't worry about it.
Fuck, it's fine. It's fine.
Fine.
Deal with it.
I don't know whenever you get the next time you buy some riot points, you have to get that Soraka drinking coffee as everything's on fire.
I know, right?
Because everything is fine emote.
Not related to any news or anything, but Evan's been with me during recording sessions, and it's exactly like this every time we record too.
Every single time.
Every time.
I can't even think of one time where nothing broke.
Well, okay,
like even
so
when we're doing YouTube videos.
Halfway through Doki Doki, right? We were like, all right, it's gonna work, and then it just stopped working out of nowhere. We're like, wait, what? So yeah, it always happens, just all the time.
Michael's the queen of breaking everything.
Any other news that you wanted to bring up, Spark? That you saw interesting?
Nope, couldn't scrounge up any news that I would think that the stream would find interesting.
What about stuff that we wouldn't find interesting?
Well, I mean, how do you know what the stream will find interesting?
Yeah. How do you know? Nobody's even watching. I am sucking it up on this game.
Watching us right now.
Yeah, like me.
And me. So, continue. Were you gonna tell us, Spark?
Did you have news?
No, I litearly don't have news.
Oh. I found wall heart!
Anything.
It's like wall chicken, except it's not chicken. Makes me somewhat sad.
Wall heart.
Yeah. I have to relook at my thing because I got distracted with all these issues.
Oh, side note, AR Earth was out this weekend because of Memorial Weekend. But it was only for the weekend.
Oh. I missed it.
So, everybody missed it.
So the reason I'm bringing up an article for this one is because it has specific details. So there was a swatting that happened, which swatting is basically when you call the SWAT team on somebody for, like, you know, when they're streaming or something along those lines.
Oh,
so
God.
there was some asshole that got mad at some other asshole that was talking to another asshole who gave him the wrong address or whatever. And so he swatted the wrong address. Police showed up, killed the man. Like, just killed an innocent man that had nothing to do with the situation.
No way.
So that happened quite a while ago, actually, months ago. But regardless, this was in Kansas, and the guys who the guy who called in the SWAT is now actually going for jail time. So he's got basically life in prison. He's got like 40 years or whatever on his sentence. So he's going to prison for life for that, basically. And the person who gave him the wrong information is also going to prison for it. Which I think is super good. The police officer isn't being charged with anything, which I think is a little questionable because he shot someone. He didn't even get leave or anything, which I
think anytime a police officer shoots somebody innocent should have leave, regardless whether it was on their own fault or not. That has me questioning it a bit, but of course, you know, there's a lot of people on both sides, and I'm not really going to get into politics of that. So I don't know what to think about that, but that is just part of the thing that is kind of nobody knows what to think about it because it's got two sides to it. But for the most part, yeah, like these two people they're just complete assholes. You could see pictures of them. They look like assholes. So yeah, they ended up getting charged, which I think is super good because fuck people that do that. Swatting is a big problem. And so nobody should ever do it. And they're finally setting a precedence to where if you end up doing this, you're going to prison for it. For life, in fact, because it is considered now murder, basically. It is basically, you know, conspiring to kill somebody by using cops. Yep.
So yeah, basically he's going to prison for murder. And it sucks that the guy died. Like, that is super unfortunate. Like, I wish that it would have been a different story with that would have ended up leading to this. Because before, you know, a bunch of swattings have happened and it's ruined lives. You know, somebody ended up losing their dog over it. But the people who ended up committing the swattings never got in trouble for it, which is just ridiculous, in my opinion. And so when it ends up going into it, it's like these guys are actually being punished for it, which is good, in my opinion. So the less we have it happening, or if it ends up happening, having people actually go through and, you know, have consequences for it, good. Mm-hmm. Anything else to say about it?
This has been a very depressing stream.
It has been. It's been a depressing week for news. Not the best week. I mean, the ESA is still trying to defend loot boxes, which I mentioned earlier. I mean, to kind of carry on to that, he's like, it's not gambling because the gambling laws don't apply, and it's like because they don't consider it gambling yet, but they will. So that's a thing. And so the industry is still trying to self-regulate while not screwing itself over. Because, yeah. So they're basically saying, like, his argument is that it's going to stifle creativity because, like, oh, well, if they can't use loot boxes, which is something that I've warned about as well. But also, there's also the fact that if somebody is creative, they'll figure out a way to do loot boxes without doing loot boxes and making it manipulative to where it would actually fall under gambling laws. So, I don't think that applies. But, yeah, that kind of sucks because the ESA is just saying, like, nah, we're not going to do anything about loot boxes that have obviously become a problem. And so basically we're going to run into a situation to where the governments are starting to go into play inside the US because they already have in other countries to where they didn't solve these problems. And so we're going to see that in the US now, which sucks because I'm in the US and the UK as well. It's going to affect the UK pretty soon. The UK is working on laws for it as well. So get ready for that. That'll be fun. And it will stifle some creativity because I don't think loot boxes are necessarily a bad thing. You can look at League of Legends for one of the better examples, in my opinion, anyways. Any other news? Any topics?
I'm trying to think of something not depressing.
Depressing? I saw a dog on Twitter.
I have a friend that rescued stray cats from a storm.
Yay! Saving animals!
Now they have grown up because the cat had kittens in the storm.
The Less
She's
Depressing
been
Podcast.
giving them away to homes on
all
Craigslist.
About kitties and dogs. Less depressing news. I can talk about my game development for a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, I mean, I may as well do an update on it every week because why the frick not? So I've been working on 3D modeling. So this last week I actually went back and redid all of my topology kind of practices, et cetera, and went into some animation work and stuff. So I'm actually 3D modeling now again. So
Yummy.
That's fun. I mean, that's really all that happened last week because I spent most of it researching and learning and stuff. So yeah, that's been fun. Right now I'm modeling a bunch of base models for different characters that I'll use to alter into actual characters. And once that's done, I will have a playable product.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I won't have textures ready yet or anything, but I am excited to kind of get out that initial push for something. And I just got to the point to where I could either save or kill them, and I'm going to save them because she has a whip and she's fucking awesome.
No, you're supposed to kill them.
No, I have to save her because she has a freaking whip. Whatcha? Which is, classic Castlevania.
Classic Castlevania.
Any other interesting
snowballed.
Media? Any other interesting media you guys have seen lately? Anything tech related? I didn't check tech news. I don't know what's going on in the tech industry right now. I haven't had the time to keep up with it. Happy Memorial Day. We didn't talk about that, but...
What's a Memorial Day?
It's a day in the U.S. to where we have Memorial.
It is a day that we have. I didn't do anything crazy for Memorial Day. I've just been average as hell.
I had a day job. That's really it. It was super busy because it's Memorial Day. That was my day. I wasn't expecting it either. I heard from my mother, like, last night, specifically, to where she's like, well, maybe people won't be out very often because it's Memorial Day. And I'm like, oh, crap, it's Memorial Day. So I walked into work this morning just with a ton of work to do. And I'm like, all right, that's lovely. So, yeah, that's how my day went. Aside from that, got home, prepared for the podcast.
Lovely.
Had a peanut butter and banana sandwich.
Yummy.
It was delicious, and I just got a phone call that says, or a text that says they'll be here in 15 minutes. So, ending this off, Evan, did you watch any interesting anime? And we'll end with that.
Boku no Hero's new episode was amazing.
I have no idea what that is.
Anime.
No, what is Boku no Hero, though?
My Hero Academia in the English translation.
Oh. I know what that is. Sorry.
Everybody's got superpowers. 99% of the world's got superpowers. The main character did not. He was able to be given the superpower by the almightiest hero of the time, and he became his pupil. It's so sad because he didn't have any superpowers, and he always wanted to be a hero. He could never be a hero. But now he can.
But now he can.
So now he's struggling because he can't save somebody.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
And it hurts because that's all he wanted to do.
I was hoping you would have watched a happy anime.
No.
I hear typing. Just happy anime? Happy anime? What's happy? Oh, also, this week I'm going to be playing more Neptunia, probably, because I want to get my review done. I still haven't finished my review, but that's happy, so we'll end on a happy note. Yes, I'm going to play some Neptunia. That's a happy one.
Neptunia.
More happiness is like 2 or 3 weeks, and I'll have a playable alpha of my game project called Crystal Grimoire Heart of Eternity. So make sure to join the Discord for that, called the Broken Chatbox. Links below. Yes, it is on the Twitch page, although I haven't updated my branding yet. Anything else you guys want to shill? Also, you can check out my YouTube stuff.
We also have the Broken Chatbox Club on League of Legends. You can always join us on that.
It's not official.
It is official.
It's spelled wrong. I don't know.
No, it's not.
No. But yeah, you can join that as well, if you wish to. Also, check out Evan's streaming. Spark, do you have anything that you
yeah. Always, all the losers on this stream come to my stream after, because, I'm more important.
Yeah, go watch his stream after. He won't be playing this game in the background and doing terrible at it. So,
no, I'll most likely be playing Fortnite.
I do freaking love this game, and I just fell. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is that when you die on a character on this game, you continue with all the other characters, but that character is just dead.
Does it die forever?
No, you have lives, and so you just don't lose a life until everyone dies. So, yeah. I'm just playing terrible because this isn't a save I'm going to keep. So yeah, Spark, you don't have anything you plug yet?
Nope.
I died.
It's funny because his name is Spark Plugin.
I know, right? I made that joke the first time. He has nothing to plug, and yet he is the Spark that plugs in. Anyways, I've got to go, so I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out the archive as well if you ended up missing the beginning of the show. And if you're watching the archive, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Johnny!
Spark's not going to say bye?
I know,
Bye.
what a weirdo.
Bye. Bye.